Hey y'all, good evening. I just wanted to come on here and have a heart to heart with you. I haven't done one of those videos in a while. I haven't just sat down and talked to you, and I just felt like I needed to vent. I need someone to talk to, or I just need someone to listen. How about that? Just to listen. Yeah. I just need you to be a friend, and maybe you're feeling this way too. But lately I've been feeling really, I don't want to say anxious, but at times anxious, at times frustrated, at times fearful, at times a little indecisive. And I'm sure you understand that a lot is going on, right? A lot is going on, not just in the world, not just in the US as a whole, but also, in my personal life. There are things that I'm not really that happy about. There are times where I still question, what's my purpose? Why am I here, God? And even though I do feel fulfilled for the most part by a lot of the things that I do, a lot of times there is that desire to do something more. But anyway, it probably doesn't help when you have family or someone, important to you that says, oh, you should go back to work. In other words, what you're doing is not work, despite the fact that you are paid to do it. Yeah, so there's that. And so I go back and forth, I love what I do here as a content creator. I do. I love teaching y'all things. I love sharing or bringing a smile to your day. I love being that person that uplifts and educates along with Kenton. But there are times where I think, should I go back into medicine? Of course, it's not that easy. It's not just, call up the recruiter and just get a job. It would have been easier except for the fact that I've been away from medicine for a couple of years. So there is like a reentry type of program. You might need some updates in your training. And on top of that, there's the feeling, do I really want to go back? There was a reason I left. There were many reasons why I left. And I also feel honestly like, maybe I did my time. I personally believe that we can have more than one career in our lifetime. We all have different sides and different facets to us. And I just don't want to go through life with any regrets, not knowing that there could have been other things that I've done or other things that I could do. And also keep in mind, it wasn't like I was in medicine for like 2 minutes. It's not like I walked in and walked out. I was there for like 20 years. So anyway, I kind of tussle with that back and forth. But the point is, on most days, I am content as a content creator, as much as I want to improve on that and do better doing content creation. And I do wish that it was a little bit more financially stable, because it isn't. Listen, because I love taking care of people, and because it is a lot more financially stable, and because I wouldn't deal with the guilt. Hopefully, as I pray on it, I will get some clarity. But also, which reminds me, on the issue of YouTube and content creation, you may notice sometimes a lot of content creators are pointing out that our videos aren't being shared appropriately. The algorithm is constantly changing, so please make sure that your notifications are on. And make sure that if you thought you were subscribed, please verify that you are actually subscribed, because I think there are people who think they're subscribed that aren't. So like I said, I love making content here on YouTube, but honestly, lately it's been a struggle, not because it's that hard at times, but because the motivation that it requires and the positive mindset that I need to be in to do this. Sometimes I just feel like, oh my God, why bother? Who cares, right? Who's watching? You're not making enough money doing this. Because honestly, even though content creation is lucrative, am I making the same kind of money I made while working as a physician? Absolutely not. No, I'm not. I mean, every year it gets better, Every year that I'm here, it gets better. But it's certainly still not at the level that I was when I worked as a physician. Not to say that when I worked as a physician, I was rich, because I wasn't. That in itself is a whole nother story. No, again, not every physician is wealthy. A lot of them are struggling, silently struggling, just doing the work because they love it. And nowadays, the way medicine has changed, the way the system treats doctors like they are factory workers, sometimes I just remind myself.
Sometimes, yeah, I have to remind myself why I had to take a break from medicine. But if you want to hear some of my reasons, I will link one of the initial videos that I did. So yes, as someone who worries a lot naturally and has her own share of problems and struggles just like anyone else, it just feels overwhelming at times, especially with all that's going on. Unless you're making a concerted effort not to ever turn on the news or watch the news, it's virtually impossible not to see something disturbing every day if you live in the US.
And as you know, right now, there is the government shutdown, and that affects many things, that people don't really think about.
We are officially now in a government shutdown. So what exactly does it mean? Well, let's just break it down for you. First things first, President Trump and members of Congress will continue to receive their paychecks. That is because it is constitutionally protected that they do so. What's going to happen with TSA when you try to fly? Well, those people are not going to be paid. They are going to be working without getting a paycheck. That is the bottom line. And we have seen in the past, if these continue for long stretches of time, these people are going without getting paychecks and possibly start to call out sick because they're not getting paid. Passport offices, air traffic control, TSA, those offices will remain open. When it comes to the military, the majority of veteran benefits and military paychecks will still be paid out because that's just something that happens regardless if there's a government shutdown. The Department of Veteran Affairs says that the majority of their employees will continue to work even if regional offices have to close down. Social Security benefits, those are mandatory by law. So people who receive those Social Security checks, those will still be paid out. There may be a delay in new applications because they may have to start furloughing employees who process them. The Department of Education will continue to fund loans and send those out, especially when it comes to Pell Grants and direct federal loans. But it's important to point out, anybody who has a federal loan still needs to be paying those, whether the government is shut down or not. As far as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, that's SNAP, also known as food stamps, that will continue as well. One other thing, key jobs reports and economic data will not be released during the time that the federal government is closed, which means that understanding the health of the economy in real time is not going to happen until the federal government reopens.
And then let's not talk about the ICE raids that are going on. And I'm not here to talk about politics at all. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. I'm not here to talk about your politics. I'm simply here stating the facts. It's very distressing to watch these raids on social media, even if I don't personally have a relative that is directly affected. I just think as a human being, it is very distressing to see what is going on and how a lot of people feel tormented and traumatized. And a lot of these also protests that are going on around the country that are not being broadcasted. There's a lot of censorship going on. In fact, a lot of people on social media are using code words to describe these protests. So, for example, they're calling some of these protests music festivals. Because they're not being documented on television or on social media like TikTok or stuff.
Let's not forget what's been happening in many of the schools. It feels like every 5 minutes you turn on the news, there's something. And all of this just is so distressing.
The Charlie Kirk shooting, going down the rabbit hole with Candace Owens and her take on it. Yeah, it's a lot going on. You know, you might think, well, just turn off the television or don't watch social media. Well, that's impossible, especially when you make a living on social media, or, you know, a lot of your work involves social media. It's impossible not to see all of the negativity. And then let's talk about all the food safety issues and all the food recalls that have been going on. There's that. And then, of course, our elected officials that are out there and the things they're saying and the things they're doing.
Nearly 800 of America's top military leaders were summoned from around the globe, apolitical officers who remained silent as their commander-in-chief took the stage and offered this greeting.
You can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank, there goes your future.
That set the tone for more awkward moments to come, including the president's suggestion that dangerous U.S. cities like those where National Guard are currently deployed should be used as training grounds for U.S. troops.
This is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within.
Illinois Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, an Iraq War veteran, said Trump's proposal is illegal
and unconstitutional. You cannot deploy our military onto the streets of our cities.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth opened the meeting and ripped into diversity initiatives put in place by previous administrations.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions.
That includes, he said, a return to the highest male physical fitness standards.
I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men.
And he took aim at the highest ranking officers.
It's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
Vermont Democrat Peter Welch said the meeting was unnecessary and a bad idea.
It's a further effort to politicize the military. It's very, very alarming. There is no reason to bring all of these people at enormous taxpayer expense to Washington to get a pep talk.
Hegseth told the audience they could disagree with him, but
the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink. Then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
So I don't know about you, but I find this all very disturbing, and I'm trying not to be stressed out.
We try to remain positive. Pray for me and pray for some of those people out there. Pray for some of those people who are going through way worse than I'm going through. Way worse. In fact, really, I count my blessings. I really should. I am healthy. I have a spouse that loves me. I have healthy children that are doing well. You know, I have a lot of things to be thankful for. I am creative, and for that, I am truly blessed. God has not given up on me, and God has not given up on you. And God willing, it will all work out, right? Hey, y'all, it's been a few hours since I recorded those clips, and I'm looking at it thinking, well, that video kind of ended abruptly. What was the point? And should I really share that? You know, should I even upload that video? I don't know. Anyway, I guess it's just a video diary, or I think of it as a video diary. This is how I'm genuinely feeling. And I just wanted to come here honestly and let you know how I was feeling. And I'm sure, you know, you might be going through something, whether it's with your health, whether it's with your finances, whether it's with your family, your career. We all have a combination of things that are, you know, that we're juggling. And I'm no different. And I'm not always smiling and happy, even though I try, right? But I certainly am very much human, and I try to be honest here on YouTube. Of course, some of it is for entertainment value generally when you see me happy and bubbly. But, you know, again, underneath it all is a human being with fears, with concerns, And there's a lot going on, not just, again, in my personal life, but also in the country as a whole. And I think if you don't live in the United States, maybe you may not really fully understand it. And little sideway, I want to apologize if you're a friend or a family and I don't call. I don't call, or I don't, reach out, because it's kind of, with, I don't know, my personality, it's a challenge sometimes to reach out to people. But just know that if you are truly a friend, or someone I care about, that I really do think about you often. Even if I don't reach out, and I'm not really one to ask for help in general, that's just another trait, typical Leo. But anyway, I'm not really asking for help. All I'm asking for are your prayers, your continued support here on YouTube, making sure that you are subscribed, and not giving up. If you're going through something, don't give up. Hopefully things will get better, right? The sun will come out tomorrow. Isn't that the saying? So thank you for watching, and go watch one of my other videos. Hopefully I've put it right there for you to see. Go watch it. Go watch something positive, and definitely look out for a video tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye.